You're now listening to the Open Africa podcast with Laolu, Nosa, and Furo. On this episode, we will be discussing YC's list of best performing startups, the peer shutdown, CBN's, they call it shutdown or temporary pause on onboarding for a number of players in the ecosystem in Nigeria, Chowdeck's raise, and a couple of other related news items. So, where do we begin? We can start with
Maybe we should start with why we've been AWOL for the last 2 months. It's
there's that.
Nosa's fault.
Yes,
I can't
and
tell you exactly how, but it's Nosa's
Yeah, I was about
fault.
to ask, how's this my fault?
just
You
as
don't worry about that. Just know that it's your fault.
life has been life,
I
all of us have a part to play.
I
Some
mean,
more
I choose to
than others.
blame you.
the last time I was ready to record, somebody went to the beach.
Somebody went
For
to
work.
Jollof in the beach.
For work, I was at the beach for work.
I wonder what
I just need you guys to
which
know
client
that.
is office on the beach. Which is it Patricia? Is that where her new
No,
offices?
Patricia, I beg.
Wow.
Patricia is
Wow,
working
wow,
out
wow.
of Ilashe. So please, which client do you have that is on the beach?
Don't worry about that.
Oh my
Let me worry
days.
about the clients I'm chasing, okay? But yes, anyways,
Anyway,
But yes,
we will
they
try
can
to do
blame
we
best.
me.
apologize.
Yes,
They
and we
can
are
blame me.
now
I'm the one that is very available.
we are now fully equipped to also record better quality remotely. So that's some
Fingers crossed on that one. Oh. Make we process them first. I'm sorry. Theoretically, we should be better prepared because we actually spent money. Well, Nosa spends money to get us to this place. So, yes, it should be better than the last one.
yes. So now to the content of the actual episode.
Let's start with the light one.
Which one is light? All of them is no. All of them are okay.
No. Light wave. Wave is on.
Wave.
Yeah, wave is the light one.
Is it light? Is light in one light and dark in another? It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you
Okay.
look at it.
I guess since last year, these guys, what's their name? YC has started putting out their list of best performers, and it's based on revenue. So it's not even like traction and whatnot or whatever noise other people make. And there are surprising absentees.
You see, like I say, it's not light.
I mean, in the grand scheme of darkness, this is light.
It's a good thing for somebody, but for Wave themselves, they're the only ones on there.
From Africa.
So it's a good thing for them.
The whole continent.
But it's not a good thing for the whole continent. And it's also not particularly not a good thing in light of these guys trying to IPO.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Flutterwave?
Yeah. You are not hearing Wave saying they want to IPO, so it's a bit. I don't think it's good. Anyway, but I think it flew under the radar. Nobody really said anything or made any noise about it.
Well, we have spoken about it, so well done to us.
Well done to us, but I think it slipped most radars. I don't know if it's the power of our guy or it's
or people just not paying attention and making the connection.
Actually, I realize that we can't really bleep out anything if we're using this.
No, we can't.
No, don't worry. Laolu will process offline. I will bleep it out. Fear not.
Fantastic. But
Yeah.
on the flip side, on the positive side of the list is Wave, right? And do you want to give context about Wave again? I think we've spoken about them a number of times, but yeah.
Yeah. So they've gone like a very different. So first, I guess I'll start with the origin. is the guys behind Sendwave, right? So they used to do remittances, and they built out like a, I guess, built out network, particularly in Francophone Africa for remittances like cash outs with agents and whatnot. So they built out that network. Then they sold that company to World Remit and decided to keep the infrastructure that they built and turn it into a mobile money competitor.
Interesting.
And Wave is
Which that
functioning just in Francophone Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think they've just focused on Francophone Africa and left the rest of us to English speaking. I was talking to somebody. I think it's very Francophone Africa is, I won't say it's one of the easier markets, but from a economics perspective, it's a lot more stable than say like Nigeria. So they have the same currency. It's easier to passport into other Francophone countries with like a license somewhere. It's like an African EU, more or less, which is, I guess, it's a good thing for people looking into that. I guess the rest of us just can't be bothered to learn French, which is why we are suffering.
Okay.
But like as a collective market, it's a pretty decent market, and Wave has just focused. They've chanced the incumbents in those markets, undercut them by price and everything. So they're doing. I mean, everybody's had a rough couple of years, but they're doing decentish compared to, based on what YC is saying, compared to the rest of us,
So,
which is
so,
very interesting.
so the thing is, like, while the market is, more stable and all of that, for most people to enter a market, the bedrock of everything the bedrock of your market entry is KYC, right? And when you look at those markets, like in terms of like ID authorities and availability of APIs to do ID validations and the likes, they're not very available. You have to use like documents, you have to do document checks and all of that. And the challenge is for people that are accustomed to dealing in like Nigeria or Ghana or even SA, right, where there are a lot of options in terms of IDs that you can actually verify against government databases. It's a difficult jump sometimes to just like for compliance teams it's a very hard sell, right? Because they've gotten spoiled with ID databases and then telling them they have to rely on just document check is always a you know scary jump for them to make. So there's that as well.
It's a big risk. I mean, and I guess the bigger the risk, the more the reward, which is what Wave is getting.
Yeah. But the thing is like they're saying so I'm just going to take a step back, right? Because they've only said that they're performing well. We don't even actually have any metrics about their performance, right? So how do we really know what numbers they're pushing and what like makes them? Do you get what I mean? Like we don't actually have
I
the
mean, I mean,
factors that we don't
it's
have.
that's valid. I mean, but the way I see it is, I don't think there's anything for YC to gain if they shank out guys.
Mm.
More importantly, beyond Wave, is there any other African startup inside this thing? And is there ever going to be, given what we've delved into with Paul G?
I mean, there is. I mean, there are plenty of African startups. Well, not plenty. It's the numbers have been the class sizes have been dwindling. But there's still lots of people that African companies are in YC. Um, so it's not like there's a Paul
Scarcity
G
of
might not rate. Yeah, it's not like there's a scarcity. It's just very interesting that in the data available to YC, they're saying, for lack of a better term, Wave is a better performing company than a Flutter Wave.
okay. So moving on swiftly, we can on the topic of performing. I don't even know how I'm trying to make this segue. I'm just gonna do it. Move raised $100 million Series B. Mr. Nosa was doubting me and believing AI, when I raised this, but there's God and there's internet with other options.
Nosa is the stereotypical example of humanity when the AI revolution is fully underway.
I'm sorry.
Doubting flesh and blood
It gave me
in
details of
favor
the
of
race.
in favor of AI.
It gave me details of the race, but it gave me a made up link.
Hey, GBT.
And you know what's very, very funny is that the meta, I guess the SEO optimized part of the URL. It's like very realistic. Like this is what technology used to title it if they wanted me to search and find it. And it wasn't with GPT, I was using Perplexity. Anyway, I don't like sharing my AI things with you guys because I believe in
You are actually finished.
I believe in information asymmetry.
It's a perplexity. Oh God.
I have like five.
Just leave Nosa.
Now is
Every time I talk about like GPT on the internet, it could be one of the five.
just know that nobody is fighting with you over your AI tools.
Yeah. And
In any case, move raised money.
yes.
Glory to God.
And there.
Are drivers going to be any less of slaves now?
So move is
Because
move.
those are the unhappiest people in
No, but move is
Nigeria.
move. Uber is Uber. There is the difference.
There's a difference here.
While move is working with
I
Uber,
think
there's still,
There's still what?
you know,
you know what I find very interesting is Move is framed like a what's it called? Like a mobility company. Like a lot of the language seems to just group them with mobility company or fleet. They provide fleet management or something. Move is a credit company.
Yeah, asset
start,
It's
financing.
asset
you
financing.
create the image to raise the money you want to raise. You can't go and say you're doing it's not. They say asset financing startup. It's not sexy. You have to mobility is vibes. Yeah,
Because that's what they're doing. A lot of all this like debt capital now. So they are like basically borrowing money so they can buy cars and they can do asset financing with those cars. Anyway, I just thought it was very interesting framing because whenever people talk fintech, they never consider Move.
yeah, because they're not well. And they said African
It's a
mobility.
different. It's like
Was the TechCrunch article said African mobility fintech. So they're two in one. They're two in one. I need to get serious in my life. Yes, they're two in one. But yeah, I think they want to expand into new markets. It would be interesting to see what markets. Yeah.
I think it's like India or something. They want to leave. Um, they want to de-risk Nigeria essentially. Basically, you people are too poor to pay them back.
Please. I don't want to talk about Nigeria. So let's not do
Don't
it.
worry. Don't
On
worry.
this
We
podcast,
heard
Let's
we
not.
heard the we heard the beeping in the background. We know how
Yeah.
Nigeria is. We know how Nigeria is dealing.
oh God,
Well, you can't
I
edit
was
it. I
trying
think
to
that is
mute.
it. It
there's
provides
nothing.
it
There's
provides good
nothing to mute.
context. It provides good context.
Are
Anyway,
we moving on
yes,
from
let us move on.
move?
Let us move on to even more good news. Chowdeck in this harsh I don't is it weather or the economy? Everything is harsh, yeah? Judging by the beeping in Furo's background. Everything is harsh.
Now UPS was crying out for help. Oh
Oh
God,
god.
I think Furo has actually dropped off.
Anyways, I'm back. Where did we stop?
Yeah, I was saying in this harsh period, Chowdeck has found money.
2.5 million seed. money. That's a big deal in
It's
this
a very,
harsh
very big
climate.
deal, especially for a food delivery business. When
Yes.
when people are winding down, I mean, these guys, what's their name?
Glovo.
Globo has left Ghana. Jumia Food has basically left Nigeria. I think there's another one that's left. Bold Food also called it a day. So
Did they really ever start?
they tried to start.
Wow.
They tried to start.
Did
Anyway,
they really ever
Me,
start?
my own question is, with this money now, can Chowdeck go back to subsidizing my orders?
Nope.
Because that
Sorry.
1,700, 600 that they collect from me every time I order is paining my soul.
But you still go back and order.
Clearly,
And I'm
I'm
pretty sure
stubborn because I've said I'm not doing
I'm
again, but here I am.
I'm pretty sure also not stopping the subsidies, how they're able to raise
yeah.
money.
He actually
Because
showed
no investor
paths to profitability.
exactly. No investor wants to be doing giveaway in this
And you know,
economy,
I
please.
think that's actually what we
So
need. We actually need more giveaway from investors, at least to subsidize the
no,
economy. I'm
for
sure.
once.
A Furo
I don't
economy
understand.
is hard. We need
Exactly.
somebody to help us
So they should
subsidize.
No,
be
no, no.
so investors should be doing giveaway with people with
Think
other
of think
people's
Yes,
think
money.
about it.
Hello.
yes, for future gain.
If they are subsidizing for, I don't understand why they can't
You can't subs-
subsidize
you
start
I
can't
don't
startup.
understand.
subsidize delivery of
So
my jollof rice.
okay. Okay. Go and look for the Nigerian government to
Think
subsidize
think
your
of it
apps then.
think of it as
How
a
about
long
that?
term play for the giant of
How about
Africa
that?
to actually be a giant. We need to
What
help.
no,
We need to
Oh
help
what
them.
Nosa
really?
said.
We need to help them in their trying times. Help them stand up
Got
Yes,
and
got it.
using the white man's
Got it.
funds.
charging them full price. I mean, Laolu is not really like using the white man's fund. Is that? I mean, can we are on the floor? Are we going to fund ourselves? It's not. You can't pull yourself by the bootstraps. Someone has to come
Yes,
and help you stand up.
yes,
I
yes.
You need a savior, Abby. You're looking
we
for
found
savior.
a savior, and I don't know why people look down on the fact that we found a savior that can save us. They don't look. I think, in fact, the government should be. Well, that's why I don't even understand why it's so anti-startups, because the same way they dance for their Eurobond roadshows, it's the same way they should be encouraging startups to go and dance for bring FDI, because it's FDI.
Yes,
Just force them to bring the money
Sir,
to Nigeria.
should I tell you the
just
big
distributed.
difference? Should I tell you
FDI
the big difference?
distributed to the masses, aka me.
The big difference is that your startup money does not touch them. Just know that and no peace.
I mean, no,
Okay?
it's part of it. Little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Look,
Okay. Okay. You think they care about you and your little drops and the little drops that
Furo,
you
Furo,
think they
are you
care?
for us or against us? I don't
I
understand.
don't understand for
For you, I'm just also painting the picture of the other
We
side
said let
so that
VC
we
come
know
and
what we're talking about.
subsidize our lives. You are saying they should not
look.
subsidize.
I even have a recommendation for Cardoso and his people if they are reading, they are listening to me. They should force all startups to bring their FX inside Nigeria. They
What's
should
wrong with
maybe
you?
make them register based on CAC. If you want to do startup in Nigeria, your parent company can be Delaware Corp or whatever. Wait
What's
now.
wrong
You
with
can
you,
have
sir?
Delaware Corp, but if you are raising and you're announcing you are raising, there should be FIR. In fact, FIRs, as soon as you announce your raise, FIR should come to your door and check how far. And you
I would just like to
No,
say at
sir.
this point
Please,
that
where are
this
you
wait now,
going?
podcast
wait now.
is hosted by three distinct individuals.
When they bring the
We are
when they
not the same.
when they bring the dollars into Nigeria, it will be like, you know, when you export or whatever, CBN will collect it and will give you naira at CBN rates. That is how we can defend the naira.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have you
Defend the naira.
for how much do you say startups raised in Nigeria, in Africa again?
No, sir, I'm not following you in this conversation. Before you carry me
If
to
Furo
where I
does
don't
not
know, I'm
answer
not
you, me,
following
I will
you.
answer you. Don't worry. Where is that information?
I feel like
I'm not
Decline in
following you.
fundraising is down about 51%. Cha.
exactly. So
But African startups
Yes,
have
it's
raised
down.
$466 million
no now.
this first quarter of 2024.
But that's for the big four. It's
It's
not
a,
just Nigeria. That's across Nigeria, Kenya,
They
for
are not
Tanzania,
really raising
Egypt.
anything in the other markets too, to
for
be
look
fair.
for
So
look at it. It will be trade by barter. The government will give you enabling environment. In exchange, you give the government your dollars.
Mm.
does this enabling
Please, can we?
environment include police? Mopo. Oh God. No, sir. I beg you in the
Please,
name
no,
of
sir.
God.
Anyway, Chowdeck, their GMV to increased by 140% to
What's GMV?
gross merchandise value, aka the value of everything they sold, to 2.4 billion naira. I see everybody's reporting naira now because
Because if you report it in dollars, it's
How do you
rand.
how do you show growth? You should be
If you
reporting
report
USD.
dollars, it becomes RAS immediately.
um, in terms of the participants, I think a bunch of old guys. Hook was in there, and I see Sudeep from Sportybet.
Hope people are not old. Stop
So
that.
Hook didn't invest in the original one. I thought Hook invested in the original one, in the original race. Anyway, the young,
Okay,
the
I
young
don't
yuppie
remember.
people of Hook invested. Sorry, Furo.
Thank you.
People who don't know Furo is an investor, so I'm aging her. I'm sorry. Sudeep from Sportybet invested. The money that all of you have lost. This is how see how the ecosystem works. When the people bet and they lose money, Sudeep gets rich. Now Sudeep is rich. Sudeep can
Oh my
invest in
god.
Chowdeck, and Chowdeck can now hire delivery riders that will now bet. Everybody is helping each other.
Can I just say that there are three people on this podcast, and Nosa's views do not represent our views. These are independent views from an independent man.
You are not
Thank
seeing
you.
how you're not seeing
I
how
think
the ecosystem works.
Dosa is just in the mood to be destructive
And if you are
today.
looking for me, I'm in my
Clearly,
house in Accra.
you see, the problem is that he's not the one that's not here
Me,
to be
so I'm
carried
not
by
here too.
his
If you are looking
carriers.
for me, I'm in
Okay.
Accra. That's where I am.
Anyway, did you guys know
Anyways,
Chowdeck
let
is beyond? I hope GPT didn't lie to me, Sha, but they are in Ilorin, Benin, Abeokuta, Asaba, Port Harcourt, and Ibadan.
That alone is
you serious?
fascinating, Sha.
I didn't know there were restaurants in Ilorin.
Stop that. Stop it. It's a university town.
Oh,
So
fair
there are
enough.
lots of young people.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'm sorry, Lusa, you need
He said,
help.
I did not know there were restaurants in Ilorin. This is why we can't put our faces here or be outside. Because somebody will woes me one
But
day thinking that I'm you
but Lagos still accounts for 80% of their
before
volumes.
I
So
mean, Lagos still accounts
yeah.
for. Anyway,
everybody's volumes, except you are doing oil and gas.
I
Or you're doing mobile
I don't
money,
want,
then you
I
go
don't
to
want
the
to
north.
speak further on my theories for growing Nigeria. Anyway, the people
Please
for
don't. We can talk about
the
that
people for
offline.
renewed
Stop it.
hope should just contact me. I have concepts.
Actually,
No, sorry, you're
please
trying to say
contact
that.
Nosa. I can share his email address if you are interested.
Anyway,
Anyways, moving on because I feel like this is a
that's the
messy
last of the
episode.
good news.
Um yes, now we talk about
The
the
peer.
well
No,
Okay,
CBN.
sorry.
please,
I
can we
preempted the bad.
can we discuss the PM first?
Yeah,
I'm
why
not
you
Hmm.
running.
running?
I'm not
Why
running.
are you running?
I'm not
Okay,
running.
so
My comments will be reserved.
okay, the peer down. Me, I don't have any thoughts about this. I'm tired of talking about companies that shut down. So you guys can go ahead with this
My
one.
own thing is what's so called is that they shouldn't have returned the money. You should
They
have
should
just
just
kept
kept
quiet
quiet
and let
and
the
clean mouth.
company just fail and say, "Oh, we ran out of runway. Sorry, everybody."
Because what's now happening is I think people are making noise about how much they actually
Yeah.
returned.
So they announced that they
Well,
raised 2.1, but apparently they never actually received 2.1. It was more like 1.3 or something.
That's normal.
right?
Because some investors have
Exactly.
milestones.
So now, based on what they returned, some of the investors are saying they want to see the books because if they when they calculate based on their burn rate, there should be more money left over. Uh,
Me, I'll off phone. I'll off phone, off email. You look for me, Taya.
and
What's
I think
that?
and I think it's
Like,
bad enough that you have to shut the company down, but someone is telling you that they want to see your books. I'll be so annoyed
like how many people actually return funds when they're shutting down the business? You won't count your blessings and keep
because
it
I know
pushing.
that the investors are what's it called. The investors are that are asking for more money. They're not the ones. They should go and meet their fellow investor that didn't bring the full money.
But could more money have saved them?
No,
No, if they're returning money, money was not
yeah.
the problem. It's product market.
Apparently, they said they could have
It's
lasted at
product
least
market.
another year on that money, which is what me I would have done. And I'll just go another year and I'll be applying for jobs.
You know, I have nothing to say to that
It's
because,
it's like a paid sabbatical.
oh God,
Every investor they should
for
just
those
say,
for the uninitiated, how did the peer work? Because apparently, even me, I didn't know, I didn't get their model. What I thought they were doing, it was something else that they were doing. So it could be helpful to explain
so
their model.
they pivoted a couple of times, I think, but their final iteration was essentially was a payment gateway for wallets. So if you were a merchant, you could use, like for instance, this guy's food court, another app that I've deleted from my phone. Food court had the pair on it, and you could
Mm,
pay for food courts via the pair. So you just select the wallet of whatever fintech or whatever that was on the pair, and you pay for your order based on that balance.
right. So they needed consensus from the fintechs and they'll integrate them to
But
make them available. They'll integrate authentication from
Mm-hmm.
that fintech that will enable them debit the wallet
Of of the cost
and
of
then
the
settle
customer.
the merchant. Yeah.
Exactly.
so they were creating their own closed
Give or take. It
ecosystem.
was essentially
Their own
it's
direct debit.
yeah, it's like a between somewhere between Nibs and Paystack is where they sat.
Mm,
So
mm.
it just didn't really click because there wasn't that much demand. Like it was not a problem. It was not a big problem actually.
It's not a big problem
And
because I look at the existing payment gateways. You can pay with card, pay with transfer, pay with USSD. If you are feeling freaky, you can pay with QR self.
yeah, so
It's not like it's not for a lack of options.
yeah,
And the
anything
biggest,
is very regulated too.
yeah, and the biggest fintechs have card. They are giving you virtual card or physical card self
I mean,
that you can,
even if they don't give you card, it's one of
or
those
they give
things
you
where
transfer.
compliance departments will push back.
Risk will push back self.
Yeah.
Before it even gets to
Control.
compliance, risk will tell you, will ask you if everything is all right. It's like me that year that I was trying to integrate redacted into bank. And then risk were like, yeah, it's calm. And I'm like, huh? They're like, yeah, it's calm. But business has to sign off, Shada. If anything goes wrong, they are going to be held liable. No business person agreed to sign that, Because when risk is like, do what you want now. Don't disturb us. Do it. Say you want to do it. All of a sudden, me that had business owners, I did not have anybody on my side again. Nobody told me when I closed shop and gave up. I had to tell the guy that, oh, man, sorry, I'll see you on the other side.
I think what I found interesting was the revenue they said they made. So they said they processed on $500,000 and they made about $600 in revenue. Based on that math, it means
That margin.
that margin was either they gave merchants lots of concessions or
Yeah.
maybe they just didn't know how to even calculate the revenue. I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous, but
Because even if you charge 1% of 500K, that's $5,000.
yeah. There's a way you can, even if you are giving the merchant discount.
Is it not give away all
Wait
of you
now,
do in the
no,
beginning?
it's
No,
It's
no,
it's,
give
it's
away
giveaway,
now.
but for there's interesting startup math at play that I feel could have been deployed if they did not deploy it. So now, if you say your thing is 1%, right? You do 1%, but to get this customer, you are giving them a discount at maybe you say is 0.1. The way you can report it is that you can report that you still charge 1%. Now be your revenue, but your cost of sales, or the cost of whatever, will now be 0.9.
is 9. Yeah, that helps your reporting because it shows that you are actually collecting money. You just have high cost of sales that you need
Exactly.
to drop, and that's what you use for your next round
And
to
all these
say,
all
hey,
these guys don't really do, when they do DD, they don't really do DD like that. They just see revenue number and they get excited.
or maybe they were sharing that money with the issuer.
Even if you're sharing the money with the issuer, you can record it as your own, then put it as a cost line item that you're paying.
What's this episode
Wait now.
about now?
Because
Where
no,
are we
plenty
No,
going?
no,
guys,
no, no.
plenty guys do it
Co-
with, plenty guys do it
No,
with
is that
airtime.
the reason why we're explaining it like this is because to process $500,000, but only make
Only make six
um
hundred dollars. Nah,
$600 is very small. It's a very small margin that you are making. And yes, payment is about volumes and margins, but it's not like this.
yeah, that's because that's 0.12%.
Yeah, even if you cap your fee at say 1,000 naira or 1,500, because again, you don't have the associated payment gateway costs. You are not going through MasterCard or InterSwitch payment gateway. You are not doing any of that. This is you are effectively the middleman. You are collecting from say PiggyVest to settle somebody, or you are collecting from whoever, a pocket, and then you are settling the merchants. So, worst case scenario, you are sharing money between two people, you and pockets, if that's the sort of contracts that you went into with them. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that money is small to
yeah.
share because standard payment gateway, you share that money with like 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
You share MasterCard, the card scheme will collect their own. You take your own. The acquirer too will collect his own. Then one processor somewhere will collect his own too.
And everybody is going to report that 1.5% as their revenue.
Yeah.
Is standard startup math, startup accounting is a fugazi way of calculating it, but it clicks. Like, because I can give you another example, like airtime, right? Airtime, the commission is maybe between 3 to 5%, maybe six sometimes. I mean, the useless telco, that one might give you more, but say 3 to 5 is standard. You can either say 3 to 5% is your revenue, or you can say you bought airtime credit in bulk and you sold it to your customer. So then you now record the entire amount they bought as revenue. So instead of doing 3 to 5% of maybe 1,000 naira credit, you say your full revenue is actually 1,000 naira credit, but your cost of sale is
Then you now do your net revenue, you now be
exactly. But
different.
when you're reporting your revenue number, you can say we did 100 million. Nobody's ever nobody's
But
ever
then,
asking you, oh,
but your net margins then become
it will be
disgusting.
disgusting, but how many people are looking inside? When
Okay,
they are reporting, when
sorry.
they are posting revenue on
These are
TechCrunch,
tips and tricks of the game that Nosa is sharing for free.
no, when they are posting revenue on TechCrunch, they never say what their margin is. They always say we made revenue of this, revenue grew 3x. It's only when you
Okay.
like do true DD that you find out. But anyway, that's an aside. I just show that 600 is too low. Something just wasn't adding up.
Anyways, are you done with the
To the
PA?
final point
I'll
where,
just say that
for
infra
obvious reasons,
business is hard.
Laolu, please, this new app that we're using, how many minutes have we been talking for? Because this episode is feeling
It's
long.
36 minutes for
Okay, so we have 5 more minutes. Thank you.
this, on this final topic, actually, it means to have a hard stop at 2. But on this final topic,
Yes.
I cannot comment.
let me
Only
let me let me let me raise it. Let me speak to it.
Loudly, want to do the
Yes,
honors.
because let me not lie. I have big boy jealousy. I wish me too I was big enough for them to tell me not to onboard again. But that's besides the point. Um, the CBN came and told some of the big boys in the fintech ecosystem that the evil that they've done is enough. That temporarily they should shut down onboarding new customers. So OPay, Kuda, Money Point, Palm Pay, and Paga. I've not seen Paga mentioned in a lot of the news articles out there, but I have it on good authority. I have it on good authority that Paga is also part. Now, they said in the report, it was said that the reason why they told them to temporarily suspend onboarding is because there were some shady FX transactions that were happening on these platforms. For context, depending on your license category, you are not allowed to deal in FX. However, given that these providers don't really have FX on their platforms like that, I don't think it was a foreign currency transaction as it were happening on the platforms. It was more like the what's the word now? The nature of the deal
Is
was FX led.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why that would be a problem, but the CBN said that is a
We can
problem.
talk about why it's a problem offline.
The
I cannot
CBN
talk
said
about it
is a
online.
problem, and then he said that those guys should stop onboarding. Nosa cannot speak on it because
Yes.
of obvious conflict of interest. Um,
But
yeah,
for
I
me,
had big boy
for me,
jealousy.
for me, I understand why. So to some extent, I understand why TBN do
Is
this.
there crypto
But
inside
for
this
me,
gist?
I think there's apparently
Ah,
some
okay,
crypto in the
wonderful.
mix. But the thing for me is like I feel like if the CBN was, and I'm CBN, you know what you're doing. You are a great organization, right? But ultimately, I feel like reporting over time would have indicated that something was amiss, right? And they could have picked this up without having to literally say shut down onboarding, right? Because like there's a lot of reporting that is done monthly to see like to different parts of CBN around transactions, onboarding, like different reports are done monthly. So why did we have to get to this point where it's like okay, now there's a all-out war against whoever was passing FX transactions or crypto transactions or whatever, right? I just think that I don't like the way Nigeria
It's very
typically reacts to
reactive.
stuff is always
You've had this
yeah, it's
information
like
since. Why is it now that your blood is now
yeah,
hot?
you could have exactly you could have gradually put in measures, like had these conversations over time and giving them deadlines, giving them fines. Like I'm sure they've been fining them in bits, but like giving them like heftier fines that are more painful, so they actually go and do what you want them to do, right? But it's yeah, but I think that it's not just the fintechs. So I've heard that there's some banks involved in this, but obviously, announcing the fintechs is more sensational because everybody has a love-hate relationship with them. You want to see them win, but at the same time, there's some jealousy, so you want to see them fail. So that's why everybody's focusing on the fintechs.
I'm
But
not even
yeah,
sure
I
that.
just think that
Sorry, please finish your thoughts.
no, I was just gonna say like ultimately like I just think it could have been handled a bit differently. I don't think that this is all new information that just came to light overnight, right? So
I'm just
yeah,
grateful that it's onboarding they said they should stop and they didn't yank them off NIP because that's
mm,
also not impossible for the CBN to do.
yeah,
But I guess these names are, I mean, systematically important has a different meaning in the context of banking, but for consumer payments or consumer money movement, if you suspend Kuda, OPay, PalmPay, Paga, Money Point, I think, like who is
yeah.
left?
People will feel it.
Like
You
who
get
is
like it
left?
will affect the day to day life of
So
people, so they can't really
yeah,
do that.
it's
I
interesting.
hope they can. They will do that.
I mean,
But
me, honestly, I want to hear like what the real issue is. Because from my understanding, if it's not clear cut, oh, you're facilitating crypto transactions. If it's like, oh, someone is buying FX, and they are using your platform to settle, that doesn't seem like a problem because
No,
it's not
we'll
like
talk offline.
oh, I've taken counsel. I will look forward to the offline conversation. Clearly, I don't have context.
Talk.
Nosa, you can unmute now and speak your mind on
Oh,
any other topic.
I'm campaigning for renewed hope. I cannot speak.
Nosa, please be serious in this life.
What
Please
what
be
I will say
serious.
is,
Yeah.
Renewed Chigi.
Anyways, I believe that's the end of this episode. It's been a bit chaotic, a little bit all over the place. I think it's our first time recording in a while, so bear with us. And we're recording remote as well. We will get better, and in terms of quality of
I'm sure the quality. I'm sure the
conversation,
quality of this audio will be better than anything that we've done.
Eh?
yes.
Hold on.
And then
That last one, Nosa, I cannot guarantee you. Better than
well,
anything
I mean
we've
better
done.
in terms of
Do you know,
remotely,
as you said remotely the
remote.
first time, your network just disintegrated.
I know. That's why I'm trying to round up. I'm tired. My internet is tired. We're all tired. So yes, let's move on. MTN has been doing me
It's
anyhow.
time to do
So I'm
Starlink.
grateful for the gift.
Anyway,
I've ordered. They've not delivered. I'm tired. I'm tired of following up.
let me
So
jump
yeah.
to my next meeting. Apparently,
Same here.
Workers' Day is not for all workers.
It's
Me,
not.
self, I've worked this
Do you
morning.
want?
Personal work and employer's work.
The only good
Yes.
thing is that
So it's really about.
because Nigeria team is not working, I can wake up late
They don't
because of course
do
Anyway,
1st of May in that country.
they don't. Oh, they don't.
they do bank holiday Monday. So he's talking as if his holiday is not coming in front.
But
Don't
I
mind
cannot
this
do
guy.
holiday in front because the rest of the team is working. You see the challenge.
Well, see,
That's why you should come back
that's
and
life.
contribute your own quota to renewing our hope.
It's okay. I've heard. They can appoint me from here. I don't
All
know.
right, till the next episode. For listening. Well,
Right.
bye, guys.